Hello and welcome back. On the last episode we spent time with the fourth participant of the Divine Selection as well as Shigetsugu, and we learned a little bit about them, basically their regrets. And basically that's all that we had time for really. We just kind of hung out with them. We've also been asked to cook a meal for the fourth participant. We don't even have a name yet. But hopefully we'll find one out, this session, or, this recording. Anyway. After that, I can finally leave. On the way home. I crash down onto my bed as soon as I arrive. Ah, jeez. It's been a while since I last screamed into my pillow. Miharu would have been like, "Are you an idiot?" if she was here. Without thinking, I talked to myself out loud. Not only did I succeed in gathering info about Shigetsugu, but I also met the boy staying with him. And I somehow agreed to cook that boy dinner. I didn't let myself be influenced this time, though. I agreed to do it on my own volition. Strange as it may be to get involved with the other participants, there's something far more important to figure out. Do I have what it takes to eliminate them after getting detached? I need to find my answer to that before I obtain all their cards. Time for a shower. Lucky for me, I already gotten used to the putting off the question I can't answer yet. I would have said I'd answer myself, but, I go to bed each night confident that I will wake up the next day. It's the one constant in my life, even that the Advent? Even with the advent of Divine Selection. On days where the election isn't being held anywhere. I direct myself from bed and get ready for school like always. My plans for the evening are already set, so I won't be opening the store today. I kept it closed so often lately, I'm starting to run out of excuses for my gran. Granted, she's never too persistent about me opening it up because we either hardly make out. Helps to get the words in the right order. Because we either make hardly anything out of it, or we actually lose money. That plus, she seems to realize that I'm all caught up in something else at the moment. Not to imply that she knows about the Divine Selection, of course. She most likely thinks I'm busy with exams or personal issues. That's a surprisingly understanding family member. Whoa. Anyway, my grades are hardly stellar, so I'm not surprised that she's concerned. I noticed Naomi as I walk through the gate. She's with a friend too. I'm just gonna always save it options. You know what? She's with a friend. Just leave her alone. Give her some time. I'm gonna leave her be. I'm best off leaving her be. If she's got people to spend time with other than me, it's for the better. The last thing I want is for her to get caught with the Divine Selection because of her involvement with me. Well, also the fact because if we lose the Divine Selection, she will hang out. She'll still be hanging out with this person. Well, meanwhile, Naomi trips over nothing as usual. Her friend catches her, fortunately, and she laughs it off. Naomi hasn't noticed me, so they make their way into the building together. I decide to slow my pace to ensure that I don't bump into her at the entrance. I mean, that's not what I meant when I said leave her be, but okay. I also just meant, let her have a time. We'll see her when we see her. Once I get back home, I have a lot to look at what seasonings I should take with me when I cook dinner. I doubt I'll be able to get everything I need with the money Shigetsugu's given me. But buying new stuff would be a waste because I'm only going there once. Guess curry works. Pretty sure I've got Grant's recipe lying around here somewhere. I thought this was just like a coffee shop. Do they serve food? I know they've had sweet serving, but you know, that's like a... It's not actual food. Curry used to be the Lion House staple before I took over. Ah, okay, fair enough. Helps if I read. Well, with my capabilities. Helps if I try to read. I've helped to make it a number of times, but I've never made it from scratch. It should be fine as long as I follow the recipe, though. Curry is pretty timeless, too. So let's go with that. Pack some seasoning spices, a pot, and spare container before making my way to the Shigetsugu's house. Beef, potatoes, onions, carrots, apples, and yogurt on the main ingredients. You have yogurt in curry? Yeah, out of all that, I'm surprised the most. I need this. I need to his. What? I had to his house before getting them. While I'm on my way, I make sure to keep an eye out for Federico or number 11. I don't notice anyone suspicious, but I think it's due to them being busy at the time of night. I'm somewhat worried about more odd rumors spreading, considering the neighbors' attitude towards this place. But it should be fine if it's just this once. Oh, I'm pleased you actually turned up. Hey, it's the nice lady. Aren't we the same age? Why are you calling us lady? I heard you're making us dinner. Let me help. I want to try cooking too. The nice lady, huh? What? That's one way to shatter the illusion of me being his mother. I mean, again, you're like the same age. Anyway, I carry the bags into the kitchen and then hand Shigetsugu the receipt and his change. Let's leave peeling the potatoes and carrots to you then. Okay. Make sure you wash your hands first. I put on my apron before washing my own hands. He follows suit, so I hand the potatoes and carrots over to him. Meanwhile, Shigetsugu watches TV in the living room. Can't say I'm surprised, but, you know, he is an old man. First up is beef preparation. I dice the meat into cubes and strike those with salt and pepper. How big are the cubes? Because, like, you don't want them to be too small, but you don't want them to be too big either. Beef can be a bit chewy, so I cut some extra slits into them to help with that. That's true. After that, I grate an apple into the bag. It's alongside yogurt, honey, and spice. I inspired the spice mixture of my grand's recipe before combining everything. Yeah, I also didn't think about the apple. Why an apple in curry? I mean, I'm a very picky eater, so I'm wondering if this actually is a recipe people like. I'm assuming this is what the creator, the author, whatever story this is, actually enjoys. Maybe. He looks up to me with a puzzled expression on it. He doesn't know how to... That's not... What's an onion? That's an onion, not a potato. He looks up to me with a puzzled expression, potato in hand. What do I do with this? Oh right, guess I need to teach you from scratch. I don't see any peelers, so... Yeah, I'd honestly prefer a peeler. I would not trust myself with a knife. Knowing myself, I'd probably try and use the knife, and I'd end up losing fingers or a thumb. I take a potato and show him how to peel it using a knife. Wow. It's nothing impressive. Yeah, give it a shot. Just be careful. I don't need you cutting yourself. The knife was was surprisingly sharp. Not sure if that's goes to show how little I cook or not. It's hard to believe I'm cooking with the knife that I sharpened myself. You sharpen it? Jesus Christ, you're a serial killer. I don't have it in me to ask why you need to sharpen a knife like that for anything other than cooking. Either way, he's able to peel the potato better than I could, far better than I could. Well, he's probably trained with the weapon. Same with the carrots. I decided to leave the vegetables to him. My eyes sting. Yeah, that'll happen when you cut onions. Just don't rub your eyes. That'll make it worse. Wow, hey, you finally smiled. Huh? You were making a scary face before, but right now, you look like you're having fun. I'm glad you're not our enemy. I suppose I did loosen up the moment I started cooking. I mean, I've been checking every now and then to make sure that Shigetsugu isn't rummaging through my stuff, but it's true that I haven't been on edge as I should be. I always wanted to know how curry's made, so I've been looking forward to this. All I did was peel and cut vegetables, so now I'm even more curious about the rest. I guess we'll make it extra good then. Is this Shigetsugu's way to win us over? Oh, he had so much fun making food, and he's using the innocence of this amnesiac to go like, oh, I want to know more. Can we do this again? Kind of like worm their way into our heart, and kind of just, you know. I can't help it though. Seeing his eyes sparkle with curiosity is too precious. Another part of me wishes that we'd met under different circumstances. Ooh, is Rinka liking someone? Okay, yay, it's done. 2 hours later, it's finally ready. The smell wafting from the pot reminds me exactly of the curry my gran would cook. I tasted it to make sure it turned out fine, but I'm still nervous because other people are going to eat it too. My, this looks fantastic. Sorry for the wait. I can take this. I take it this will do. He's over the moon, so it's more than enough. We'll be staying to eat the day with us. Obviously. I wouldn't come all the way to cook and then leave. Come on. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see how it tastes. I get started on mine after they dig in. It's not quite on the level of my grand's, or on my grand's level, but it's still pretty delicious. It hasn't been too long since the last time I had an experience like this. Miharu, Sonia, and I ate together often, but before Sonia was eliminated. Funny how the divine selection, of all things, is what blessed me with these experiences. Blessed her. I guess I needed to accept that I've been enjoying myself. The sauce is rather strong, wouldn't you say? I refuse to field any compliment. Oh, any complaint, sorry. Well, compliments either. This is so good. Your cooking's great. Oh geez, what a good kid. Hey, did you know I cut these myself? Carrots and the potatoes? Well, you did a fantastic job with them. Yay. Are you the most doting father or doting grandfather? Whatever. I'm glad he likes it at least. I'm not trying to insert myself into the conversation too much. I'll pretend to eat in silence instead. This certainly brings back memories. Curry was the first meal my son ever helped cook, if I recall. He was so happy that he peeled and cut the vegetables. Why is this coming back to me now of all times? His eyes fixate on the curry and recalls those days long past. Is he going to start crying? I mean, if anything, it might fill his request. His regret. Small droplets of water catch his eyelashes as they form. I'm not sure how or when it happened, but curry became the go-to household meal in Japan. Just making it tonight brought back memories of time I spent with my gran. So it makes sense for him to be reminded of a similar time he spent with his own family. A clanging resound throughout the room when I caught up with those thoughts. Turned my attention to where it come from. It's the boy, who just slapped the spoon down onto his plate. Is the past really that important? Neither of us answers quite well. I mean, that entirely depends on the person, really. If you're a historian or an archaeologist, pretty much. Yeah. Sometimes the past is just nothing but bad stuff, and you've got to look forward to the days when things get better. Sometimes, like in Shigetsugu's case, you might not have that far forward to go, so all you can do is look back. you just have to look. You just have to hope. But when you do look back, you like what you see, really. But yeah, neither of us answer his question. His gaze is focused on Shigetsugu. While Shigetsugu was recalling his past, the boy must have understood that he had no place in those memories, despite his fondness for him. Even worse, he had no memories of his own to recall in the first place. I've forgotten lots of things from my past, but there's one thing I can say for sure. I've probably never had a single happy experience like this before. Do you? And having a headache. All of a sudden he clutches his head and groans in pain. Are you alright? Just like the first time we came to face-to-face outside. That means he's remembering something. I was struck with a headache as well at that time. Now it's just him. Shigetsugu gets him to lay down. An expression of fear on his face. Are you okay? Calm yourself. I'm not sure if he heard Shigetsugu or not, but he does eventually close his eyes and pass out. I help take him back up to his room. That is pretty concerning, to be fair. Did he at least... He didn't even finish his meal. That's kind of a shame. Once that's done, I must carry my... I finish my curry and wash the dishes. There's plenty left to spare, so I pack it into a spare container. I brought up with it and put it in the fridge. All they need to do is heat it up on in the pot. This isn't the first time that's happened. You mean the sudden headache? He nods silently before continuing. He suffers from headaches whenever something triggers his memories. I'm not quite sure if it's a coincidence or a subconscious thing, though. And that's why you want us to stick around, because when we saw each other, we both had the headaches. It's nothing to worry about. He sleeps for a few hours afterwards, and it's perfectly fine once he wakes up. It's somewhat odd to be told not to worry about someone who's supposed to be your enemy. But even more odd the fact that I am really worried for him. I should have anticipated this, but seeing him so happy made me forget all about it. Please accept my apologies. I mean, I don't know what you've done with your biological family, but you seem like a decent guy. So, apology accepted. It's okay. You really did seem to enjoy the experience, though. I'm aware. I can tell he cares a lot about you, too. I might have seen him more as a little brother if it weren't for the divine selection. So you say, but if it weren't for that, we never would have met in the first place. Oh, regardless, allow me to thank you once again. Just seeing him out besides himself like that made me happy as well. Sure. I can feel my eyes strain throughout this exchange. I really shouldn't be thanked by my supposed enemy. The reality of what's going on here is all too clear, though. Yet again, I'm struggling to come to terms with the fact that I need to... what I need to do in the face of the small happiness felt like spending time with it. What? I'm struggling to come to terms with what I need to do in the face of this small happiness felt while spending time... That seems like a run-on sentence. It doesn't need to be... I don't... Right, this seems ideal time to make good on our promise from yesterday. Yeah, it'd be for the best. I won't be involved with them anymore. That's the ideal outcome. Keep the container with the leftovers. I actually enjoyed this a bit more than expected, so don't feel too bad about dragging me into it. Oh, worry not. I never felt bad in the first place. Before you go, allow me to tell you my cause of death. He switches from a far more grim topic. But to a far more grim topic before he bothers to sit down. Why are you telling us this? Why are you telling us your cause of death? I honestly wouldn't have cared if you'd forgotten about this part of the promise. I still don't know if I have it in me to elect him after learning it. Chances are high that I won't be able to, since I've gotten this attached to them both. So I'd rather much not know at all and face regret and self-loathing over knowing. Yep, not being able to elect them. But at the same time, I can't refuse to listen to how now he's brought it up. You're aware that the cases where people are discovered dead in their homes, I'm assuming? I've seen reports of it in the news every now and again. I am one such case. Elderly people living on their own is already a problem on its own right. The risk of them passing away without anyone noticing gets higher if they have no relatives or friends in the neighborhood to check on them. I expected this to be the case for him after hearing how the rumors have spread about him starving to death or whatnot. My lower back isn't in peak condition. You see, I'm prone to having sudden onsets of pain. Sometimes to the point where I'm unable to move at all. That's why I made it a point to buy as much canned food and ready-made meals as possible. The last thing I wanted was one of those episodes happening while cooking, leading to a fire. That may have just been the excuse for me to be lazy, but let's set that aside for now. The worst episode ever struck me during a rainy day, so it was just bad that I couldn't even crawl. The rest goes without saying, no one can survive without proper sustenance, so it may have been a matter of days before I started again. My memory's rather fuzzy after the first day, so I can't give you an accurate date of when I died. Passing away all alone in your home is quite the pathetic way to go, isn't it? It may be fitting for me, though, after I caused my own family to abandon me. It's not true. No need for sympathy. I'm sure you've realized how cynical I am by now. I do feel like I've changed somewhat ever since meeting him. Perhaps it's more accurate to say that I was able to go back on how I was during the days when I still got along with my family. It's somewhat hard to believe that there were a time we all got along like that. I wish I could have seen them at least one more time before I die. Oh, my apologies. Looks like I've become the stereotypical talkative old man. Trust me when I say that this all hasn't been an attempt to make it harder for you to eliminate me. He spoke in his regret loud and clear. A regret so simple that anyone could understand it. If there's one thing I know for sure at this point, it's that I won't be able to elect him without hesitation. I'll be taking my leave now. It's gotten rather late. Do take care. Thank you. I don't have much to say regarding his cause of death. There's no doubt that my facial expression as he told me was enough to get across how I felt, though. As I approach the entrance, a knock echoes down the hall. Someone's at the door. Where people wouldn't normally come here at this hour. I hope it isn't the debt collector. It's probably going to be 3 and 11, or Alan. Sorry, I don't know why I call her 11. We know her name's Odette. He stumbles back and falls flat as he on his rear, right before looking through the peephole. I'm not sure what he's seen, but the knocking goes even more fierce. He hurries back to his feet and reaches the door once he recalls that he has not locked it. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that his back hasn't given out, but it seems that he's faring much better in that regard due to the divine selection, much like how Sonya's illness had subsided. Now it's obvious what's going on. It has to be those two. I'm trying to get to the door, but Shigetsugu stops me. Not like it would have mattered either way, since the door had already been opened. He probably knows it was unlocked before Shigetsugu. How dare you barge in like this? Yeah, I thought it was Alan. Turns out to be number 12. Alan Scorpion. He grabs Shigetsugu by the collar before closing the door behind him. The sheer difference in height and build causes Shigetsugu to get lifted right into the air by his shirt. Well, we need to wake up number 4. Number 4 can beat Alan, and I would happily watch this. Because, I mean, to be fair, watching Odette fight, not gonna lie, pretty woman. But you know, Alan's just kind of been rude the entire time, so it's gonna be funny. Part of me wishes that number 4 was down here with us. There was no opportunity to call for him, though. Not to mention that it'd probably be for nothing if all the noise so far hadn't woken him up. You, why are you here? I could ask you the same question. No matter. He returns his attention to Shigetsugu. I'll deal with you first. Let them go. You can't just burst into someone's home and do this to them. I see you're meddling with others again. What do you care? I can't lie, right now I'm terrified. Those frigid eyes alone are enough to still fear in most people. But add in this build and lack of hesitation to use force like this. I can't run away though. I can't abandon Shigetsugu. If you ask me why, well, I'm not quite sure. Because we need to take out the greater threat. The greater threat, honestly, is Alan. Alan and Odette are two of the strongest. The only difference is that Odette obviously has Federico as a henchman. But there's still someone missing though. We got number 3's been eliminated, right? Not entirely sure. No, number 3's Federico. Number 5, I think, was eliminated. I could probably check, but I'm probably not gonna break the hemisphere. Besides, there's not much you can do if I scream for help, unless I stop you from doing so. Wait, listen to what I have to say. Keep your mouth shut until I give you permission to speak. See what I mean? If number 4 gets down here, team number 4, be Alan. I know your regret. What? Hear me out. Although hesitant, he eventually releases Shigetsugu. Shigetsugu lands on his backside again. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have hurt him all that much. You seem awfully desperate, don't you? Spare me the attitude. Tell me what you know. You're aware that number 3 and 11 came here before, aren't you? What of it? Worry not. I happen to have quite the reliable bodyguard, so they weren't able to learn my own regret. All they have are my name and my cause of death. That's what I need then. The only information on you I have is your name, so hurry up and tell me the other two. He takes a threatening step towards Shigetsugu. The height difference between them is staggering. How intimidating to have someone of his state look down on you from so close. Hang on. You may want to reconsider, since I've already gotten my hands on all his information. I'm sure you don't need me to explain the risk of involvement when two people are like the same person. My name is no secret to you, though. The same is likely for number 3 and number 11. As much as I appreciate the value of one's name, I take no issue in exposing it for the sake of earning the right to elect him. That's funny. You happen to know my name as well. What makes you think I have no issue exposing it in return? Those eyes, they stir feelings within me that I would rather forget. Huh. I can't risk having to reveal 2 cards of my own, but having my regret exposed to you would also put me in a difficult situation. So, yeah. Perhaps brute force won't get through me this situation. I can hardly believe that I was able to talk him down. Because he's a moron. He just... I mean, like, you know, he's smart enough to... On the practical sense, social side, he's stupid. To be fair, I probably wouldn't have said it to his face if I was in this situation. He would have just beat the crap out of me. Maybe it's thanks to that what I've pulled at the hospital with Keiko. There's no way the police would have... There's no way the police wouldn't have had eyes on him after that. Makes sense he's trying to tread carefully. I'll cut to the chase. Number 3 and 11 are my main concerns. Yet they've made no moves after yesterday morning. What happened? I figured that it's what you after. As I said, I have quite the skilled bodyguard. That not only proves to hint that your own regret sleeps within this place, what? That only proves to hint, okay. I'm not sure how you managed to figure that out based on what Shigetsugu said. Which means I really need to watch what I say from here on out. You always need to watch what you say. I might have convinced him for now, but there's no guarantee things will keep going smoothly. Care to tell me who the so-called bodyguard is? I can't see it being that child you've taken in, to say the least. Well, you would be surprised. I doubt you have the money to hire a professional either. Is number 11 complicit? Not number 11, number 9. He's the only one yet to show himself. So, okay, number 9's male. Because we haven't actually been shown that yet. Who knows? Then again, you were unsure about who I was. That means you likely haven't encountered number 9. So number 9 knows you. Just who in the world are you? That's irrelevant. I have to admit, I'm surprised that a little girl like her could fend those two off. I've read over... Wait, hold on. Who said... I have to admit... Oh, Alan thinks it's us. Okay. I've started to read over just how much he can glean from the tiniest bit of details of information. Well, either he thinks number 4 is female, like we did, or he thinks it was us. Still. With that though, we'll have to solve this confrontation next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed, because yeah, it was fun, especially this little interaction. And hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.